Hello, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I have for you the eyeshadow tag. I've been seeing these kind of videos in YouTube. The YouTubers are showing the favorite palette, the oldest palette, the smallest palette. So yeah, so I decided to create a video like that, but in my version, showing you which palettes are in each category. So yeah, if you're interested in watching this video, let's continue. In the first category I have is the newest palette, and for that I have the Sigma Color Rosa eyeshadow palette. It looks like this. When you open it up, it's so pretty. It comes with a mirror, and comes with a brush, a dual ended brush. So this is how it looks like. It's really pretty. I had a review about this eyeshadow palette. I will link it on top, so you can, if you want to look at it and see how it performs in your eyes and everything. So yeah, so this is my last purchase that I made. And I really like it. So this is my newest palette, and next I have the oldest palette, and the oldest palette that I have in my collection right now is the Color Rain Queen of Heart, and it looks like this. When you open it up, it looks like this. It's really pretty. And yeah, so I have this palette like since 2016, I think, so it's like 4 years old already. So I've been doing a lot of declutter in my eyeshadow my collection, so I already get rid of a lot of old eyeshadows. So this is the one that I kept because I really like the colors, the formula. I like everything about this palette. So yeah, so this is my oldest palette. In the next category I have the most expensive palette, and for that I have this one from Natasha Denona. This is the Sunset palette. I bought this one last year, and yeah, this is my expensive palette. I think this is like 128, something around that. I'm not sure, but this is how the palette looks like when you open it up. It has a mirror, and it has this little plastic that you can cut it, but it's there. I never take it out. And on the plastic thing, it has the name of the eyeshadows. So that's the reason that I kept the plastic, so I can know the name of the shadows if I want to do any reviews or tutorials. So this is how the palette looks like. I used it a few times. I haven't used it that much, but yeah, I like it. I like Natasha Denona's eyeshadow formula. It's not something that I'm impressed and that I don't see in any other palettes, but you know, I was intrigued to see how the Eyeshadow Denona's performs, and I like it, but it's not something that I will it's not something that I like that much that I will keep purchasing more palettes. So I like it, I keep it, and yeah, I'm not planning to spend more money for Natasha Denona. So yeah, so this is my expensive palette. Next I have my affordable palette. So for that category I have this little elf bite-size eyeshadow palette. It's a quad. So they have different color thing. So I have this one. This is the cream, the rose water. So I really like it. It's really pretty, and it's only $3. My everyday eyeshadow palette, and for my everyday eyeshadow palette is my ColourPop California Love eyeshadow, and this is how the palette looks like. It doesn't have a mirror, but I'm okay with that. So it's well loved. I really like it. You have everything you need in this palette. You have your cream shade to set your eyelids, you have your transition shade, you have your deep colors if you want to deep up your look, like for a nighttime look. You have your shimmers, and you have a glitter right here. So this palette is perfect. This palette is everything that I need. When I travel, I like to take this palette with me. I don't care if it doesn't have a mirror. I always get my mirror, like I got my mirror on the side anyway. So yeah, this palette is really good, and really affordable for the price. You know, ColourPop is really affordable. And yeah, so this is my California Love Everyday palette. And for the colorful palette, I don't have a full palette that have colorful eyeshadows, because whenever I choose a palette that has pops of color, I like to buy a palette that it will be wearable, like palettes that includes neutral or warm tone colors. That's more that I use. So for that category, I have the only eyeshadow palette that has like pops of color is the Morphe and Jeffree Star palette, and this one looks like this. It have a huge mirror. You have, as you can see, you have your wearable colors, you have your browns and soft colors, but you also have your purples, the pinks, green colors, silver and golds and everything. I don't have a blue color, but that's okay. But yeah, so this is the colorful palette that I have in my collection. Moving on with the smallest palette, and for that smallest palette, this is the smallest palette from e.l.f. This is the smallest palette that I have, but I was going to get something else so I won't be repetitive showing you the same palette for another category. So for that reason, I choose the Huda Beauty Obsessions palette. She have a lot of different kind of colors, but I choose this one from Topaz. And for me, a 9-pan eyeshadow, this is really tiny for me. This is the Huda Beauty. So this is the small palette that I have for being a 9-pan eyeshadow palette. So yeah. Moving on with my biggest palettes. So the biggest palettes that I have, it has to be my Jaclyn Hill palettes. That's the only biggest thing that I have for an eyeshadow. So I have both eyeshadow palettes. I have the volume 1 and volume 2. So yeah, so this is how the palette looks like. This is the first version that she came out with, and I know the package is different from the ones that she's selling right now, but I got this one. This is one of the first ones that when she got the palette, when she released the palette, this is the one. Okay, this is the one that is gonna get dirty. The other kinds, it has like a glossy finish in the package, so if it gets dirty you can wipe it down. It's like this kind, you see, and this one kind of like is matte, so if it gets stained, it's there, you cannot remove it. So yeah, so this is the biggest palettes that I have. The best memory palette. So for this one, I choose the Urban Decay Honey palette. This one looks like this, and I choose this one from Memory Colors because this, my sister-in-law Anna, she gave it to me on Christmas. She gave this palette to me on Christmas. So yeah, so this is her in the palette. She already moved to New Jersey with her family. So yeah, so I have a lot of memories that we had when she was here for a period of time. We really hang out a lot, and we create a lot of memories while she was staying here. I really like her, I really miss her, I really miss my brother and my niece. But yeah, so every time that I use this palette, I remember of her and how I miss her. Okay. So moving on with the eyeshadow that is worth the hype, and that is the Tati Beauty palette. So this is the first palette. Well, this is the only palette that she has come out with. Hopefully she come out with more eyeshadow palettes, because this palette, it's stunning. This palette, it's everything. And this is how the palette looks like. It has a huge mirror, and this is how the palette looks like. You have everything. You have your matte, your shimmers, your glitter, your sequin palettes, and you have a row that goes together, like your purples, your cream, your your transition shades like a soft brown, an orange, a brown, and a black. So you have everything you need to create a look. And yeah, you cannot go wrong with this palette. It's really good, and it's worth the hype in my opinion. Okay, moving on with a palette that is not worth the hype, and that it has to be the Huda Beauty palettes. I think Huda Beauty is a really good brand in certain things, but when it comes with eyeshadow, I don't think it's the best formula for me. How pricey it is. This eyeshadow palette, I think it's like $65, so I don't think it's worth it. I think there is more there is more eyeshadow palettes that is a little less expensive, and you would prefer better than this one. So yeah, so this is the only one that I have. I use it. It's good. Like, the pigment is dead, but is there, but I don't feel like it's worth the hype. Like, that's what I choose for this category. My favorite palettes from my favorite brand, that has to be the Modern Renaissance from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this one is well loved. I love this palette so much, and I believe everybody loves this palette. I haven't heard anybody saying that they don't like it. Like, this is a great palette, and I like Anastasia Beverly Hills formula. It's a little powdery, but it's good. You have to be really light-handed, and it will work really good in your eyes. So yeah, for that reason I choose this one, as this is my favorite from my favorite brand, Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm to buy the Norvina palette so bad. It's the last one that the last volume that she came out with, the one that has purple colors. So yeah, I want to get that one so bad, so it's definitely in my wish list. So when I can, I will buy it. Other category that I have is my most used palette, and for that category I choose my Dulce Color little baked browns eyeshadow palette, and this one looks like this. It's really love. Like, whenever I want like a fast look, this is the palette that I choose from. So this is really nice, really cute. I know the package that she have right now is different. Like, she changed the package for this eyeshadow palette, but the formula is still the same. So I really like it, and this is my most used palette that I have. And yeah, so the best dupe palette that I own, it has to be this one from Maybelline New York's. From Maybelline, and this is the Nude of New York palette, and this one looks like this. When I saw this palette, I thought about the Anastasia Soft Glam palette. So this is a really good dupe about that. I made a video about showing you this eyeshadow, and that it was a dupe for that Soft Glam. So yeah, and I believe that there is a lot of similar eyeshadow palettes like around these colors, so that's what I choose this one as my best dupe palette, because you can dupe this with any warm tones neutral eyeshadow palette. And in my last category that I have is the palette that you rediscover through this eyeshadow tag. So the palette that I rediscovered to doing this tag, it have to be my Dulce Color and Desi and Katie Francation palette, and this one looks like this. I haven't used this palette in a while. I kind of like forgot about this palette. I don't know why. I need to put it back and put it in my everyday drawer so I can use it more often. So yeah, so this is the palette that I rediscovered, that I forgot about it. I don't know, but this is really good. So yeah, so this completes the video. Hope you like this video. I had really fun searching out into my collection for every category that I named. So yeah, I really like this kind of videos. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and please share it for your friends and family, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.